CMH, your number one historic sim racing network, presents Auto Racing 22. A very good evening to you. Welcome to Thruxton Circuit for this next presentation of the BARC Formula Ford 1973 Championship. It's been a while since we've been with the Formula Fords on the stream, but we're back with another action-packed race meeting ahead of us. We've got 8 cars booked in tonight, which is one of the bigger entries we've seen so far in season 2022, and it's set to be a very, very lively evening here at Thruxton. Thruxton, of course, one of the spiritual homes of motor racing in the UK and one of the spiritual homes of the British Automobile Racing Club as well. The track itself, of course, started out as an old RAF base in World War II, as many of the circuits in the UK have done. Anyway, I'm your race commentator, Ben Singleton, taking you through all the action here this evening at Thruxton. We've got 4 sessions for you this evening. We've got a 15-minute qualifying session, then we've got 2 heat races and a grand final as per normal. So we've currently got cars out on track doing their practice session. We've got 7 cars with us at the time being. We're just waiting on one more, I believe, but whether it'll turn up is a different question. But hopefully we're in for a very, very lively evening of racing. As well, we've just got a couple of regulation changes as well for this meeting. So in the past, you may have noticed a fair few spins in this formula. That hopefully may have been eradicated to some extent with a slight regulation change, which has moved the fuel tank on the cars. So they're not over the back axle anymore. So basically, the idea is that it stops them getting two-tail happy, and basically tank slapping is the understanding I've been given of the rule change, and hopefully that should allow the cars to be able to handle a little bit better and eradicate a few of the hairy moments. But we're not sure how well it's going to work. Like I say, it's just going to be a case of we'll see how tonight goes with them, and I'm sure we'll get a result one way or another. But we are just about set and ready to go. 3 minutes till start time when qualifying should be joining us on circuit for 15 minutes of action. So we'll just get things sorted, and hopefully we should be able to get more information on the rule changes. I hand over to Pascal McKeown just to try and explain the rule changes considerably better than me, as I'm sure you'll understand. It's not my strong point on the technical side of Formula Ford. So good evening, Pascal.
Good evening, Ben. Hello, welcome to everybody watching on YouTube. Hold on, I need to...
So just waiting a few moments to get sorted.
Yes.
I think he's back.
Okay, the rule changes that I mentioned, yes. Yes, they used to be, the fuel tanks used to be right on top of the rear axle, as you mentioned. And, well, if you know your thing about physics, if you know your thing or two about physics, having a lot of weight over the rear axle, even if it's just a little bit of fuel, like 10 liters or something for qualifying, it's, well, you get a lot of energy, a lot of weight transfer on the rear axle, and let me just compare it to driving a mid-engine car like a Porsche or something. Once those things get out of shape, they can get out of shape really, really hard, and that's where you get these tank slappers, the snap oversteer, the lift off oversteer, whatever. Of course, these cars originally don't have their fuel tanks over the rear axle, so the regulations have been changed, and there's been a little patch made to move them. Well, it's supposed to move the fuel tanks a bit more towards the center of the car, which if we have a look at Chris Hood, never mind. Oh,
I don't think we should now. That car is second hand. We Benny car will have it tomorrow.
Okay, let's have a look at Owen Potter. Okay. Well, of course, you don't see the fuel tank right right behind the car, right on top of the rear axle. It's more towards, it's like in front of the engine, so it's more in the center, and that's, you know, you have a bit more mass towards the center of gravity, which should generally improve handling, cause less spins. Of course, it's going to make the cars understeer a little bit more, but you know, It's understeering is a stable condition in comparison to oversteering. That's my understanding. But yeah, that's, as you said, we have 7 cars on the server at the moment. We had someone come join, but they haven't actually been booked in. So I asked them to book in properly, which is why I was a bit left a bit short for words. But yeah, we would have a newcomer from Poland. So let's hope him and Cezary Szlopinski just show up. Maybe then we would have 9 cars. So, that being said,
just for
yes.
the record, who is the extra car on the entry list? Because I've not seen it.
Well, he hasn't been booked in, but it was a Polish fella called Jacek. I'm sorry, Jacek Slaby, who was in a Hawk DL11. But again, he just joined the server briefly. I asked him to check the forum, and please excuse the pace car doing its thing. That's for the final round, we'll have fixed that. Anyway, yeah. So we're still missing Cezary Szlopinski, who is booked in as a full-time car. And who knows, maybe Mr. Slaby also can join us. Anyway, yeah, Ben, we have 15 minutes around the circuit. Maybe you want to have a look at the track? Maybe show the viewers the track, and then we'll go on having a little bit of fun.
Yes, thank you, H. Pascal. So, yes, we have now got qualifying making its way out onto track. We've got 7 of them. So we are, like we say, missing one at the moment, but we'll try and get that one located as and when we can. Right, so, yeah, we'll give you a quick rundown of the track while I was just waiting for cars to actually post competitive lap times. So this is a rather long circuit for Formula Ford. The track is around 2.3 miles in length. You've got the section of the track we're looking at here, I believe, is going around the back of the circuit. That is the left-hander. In fact, that's the back of the circuit going around Goodwood. So that was the right-hander at Goodwood. The corner before that was the left-hander at Noble. They're going to make its way. Then they're going to make their way around even more round Church. In fact, there we go. We've now got a track map up on the screen. So it's a 12-turn circuit, 2.3 miles in length. That's 3.7 kilometres to people outside of the UK. You've got, obviously, the heat start will be 8 laps and the final will be 15. So not the most amount of laps tonight, but you've got to understand it is a rather long circuit. You've got a mix of high-speed corners and heavy braking zones. The heavy braking zones are the corner, for example, that David Saber's just gone through at the Club Chicane. And you've also got the Campbell, Cobb and Sirgrave complex at the start of that, which are turns 3, 4 and 5 of the circuit. They're another place for them to slow down. That really does give them some overtaking opportunities as and when they can. But it looks like we've now got cars making their way around on competitive lap times now. The circuit direction, of course, is clockwise, as with many of the UK motor racing venues. The only one I can think of in recent times that's gone anti-clockwise is Rockingham, but that is sadly no longer with us. And of course, Knockhill Motor Racing Circuit in Scotland also has a permit to run anti-clockwise, which it does do a couple of times a year for their domestic Formula and the Classic Sports Car Club. But you can just see that the cars are getting themselves warmed up and ready to go. The track map has now been removed, so we can now see the action. This is Owen Potter out in a flying lap. He's currently purple in sectors 1 and 2. And before anybody says, yes, people have already set lap times in sector 1. Sector 2, not so much, but he's coming to the final chicane now at Club. This is where he will proceed to end his lap. Watch for the curbs, of course. I've already seen a couple of cars get thrown off by them, and right on cue, Owen Potter does indeed clatter himself off the curbs rather forcefully. But he's just going around to complete his lap. What's he going to get? So, just looking, and that lap time was a 1:26.891. And we've got a couple more cars bouncing their way through the chicane. Owen Potter spun down at Allard, unfortunately. So he's had a moment. So David Saber across the timing line and goes across with a 1:27.894. So he's just over a second away from Owen Potter's fastest lap in car 83. Got a fairly busy track, and most cars have ended up on the Campbell side of the circuit, which of course is where the first chicane complex is before they make their way around the back of the circuit, which is considerably faster, with the likes of Noble, Goodwood, Village, Church, Brooklands, all been very, very fast sweeping corners, which maybe don't always favour Formula Ford cars exactly, but they are there nonetheless. Another lap time has been posted by Halil Sin, our Turkish driver. He's gone for a 151.328, which I suspect may have been implicated by a spin, so that may not be a legitimate lap time from Halil. We'll see if he can improve as the session rages on, which I have no doubt he will from watching him race in the Super Touring cars elsewhere for the 1990s spec tin tops, which were very, very brutal machinery indeed. But the field are just settling down here. We have now got 9 cars in the service. That's a brilliant entry of cars for this evening. That's the biggest entry I've seen this season, as I've missed a few meetings this year. There are a couple of meetings I missed due to technical difficulties on the director end, and then the last meeting at Cadwell Park I missed due to real-life racing commitments with stock car racing. But that's another story for another day, unfortunately, as much as I'd like to go into it. As Halil Sin's had a lock-up going into the club chicane, he's been followed by Chris Hood in car number 4, as he makes his way around. In fact, he's slowed up there in the Shell Oils liveried car. The Halil Sin car is a Lola T340, one of many of the Lolas here tonight. We've also got Hawk DL11s on track, Van Diemen's out there, Merlin Mark 24s as well. So good variation of manufacturers and models in this series, although they do all look very much alike. They are different. The lap times are coming in rather effectively now. We've now got 5 cars with lap times posted. The top 2 have remained unchanged. Pascal McKiller's gone third in the meanwhile with a 127.976. Behind him, we've got Halil Sin now on a 135.522. So I said he would probably improve it. He has. 5th place is Giovanni Setrom in a 137.572. And we're just still waiting for the remaining 4 cars to set lap times, which I'm sure will come as the session goes on. I said these are setting the grids for the heats. As Pascal McHugh's just gone purple and gone fastest with a 126.852, toppling Owen Potter by 39 thousandths of a second, which is, to be rather precise, not a very big margin. As we've got a car off the track at Club. I think that was Chris Hood diverting the wrong way around the chicane, which didn't entirely go to plan. David Sabers got past him in another one of the not in fact another one of those. There's the lone Merlin built car here this evening, so good to see somebody trying something a little bit different. He's just gone through and got I'm just waiting for the timing screen to update for us. There you go. He got a 152.849, so I think he's had a spin on that lap or an off, so we're certainly not going to count that lap towards his qualifying time, as he set a lap time that's considerably quicker already, somewhere in the region of about 20 seconds quicker, as he now runs a bit wide there as they make their way round the long sweeping left-hander, and then around the right-hander at Noble. Of course, many of the names of the corners here mean something. Obviously, going around Goodwood now, I don't really need to tell you what that's referencing, although I probably should. It's referencing the very famous motor racing facility, Goodwood Motor Racing Circuits, which, of course, every year holds 2 major race meetings, the members' meeting and the revival for all things historic racing, from Formula One cars to Formula Junior cars. Even a few years ago, we had an incredible 40-car mini race there for all original pre-66 minis. Imagine that grid. David Saber now comes into club, locks up. He's been followed around by Chris Hood. A few more cars have set lap times in the meantime. There's Giovanni Satram has gone through into 4th, then immediately shuffled down to 5th. Sisiaris Klepansky has gone through into 3rd and has now already been shuffled down to 5th. So I can't keep up with the timing screen. It's nothing new there, I hear you all say. Chris Hood's gone to 4th. David Saber got back to 3rd place there with a 127.229. Halil Sin has had his personal best lap of 134.668. We're still waiting for Simone Gilardi to set a lap time in the 340 car. He's the only car that hasn't set a lap time. He's on sector 3 of his outlap. I can see him on the track map coming towards the club chicane. We're looking at Chris Hood now in number 4. He's currently sat 4th place in the standings, rather ironically. He's currently on a 127.530, and he is currently improving in the first sector. Whether he'll do the same in Sector 2, we remain to find out. We'll find out in a second, as this is the timing split on this corner here. He goes through, and he does indeed improve again in Sector 2, so this could be a storming lap for Hood, as he makes his way down to the club chicane, which I'm sure will capture many a driver out this evening, as it is a very horrible braking zone with the slight left-hand kink at Wooden Hill. He's into the chicane. He goes right, so he goes right, then he goes left, then right again. Here he comes to the start-finish line. What is he going to do? That's my question. Across the line comes Hood, and let's see what he got. He wasn't actually any quicker, unfortunately. It was a 127.707. A massive accident there as he goes into the barrier, absolutely flat out. Allard, that was a huge accident down there. That car is very much second-hand. We've already seen a nasty crash today in practice down at that corner. I believe that was Chris Hood as well, that one. Now we're looking at David Sabre in number 83. Certainly the star of the show for me the last time I was here at Brands Hatch. So whether he can do anything in this session is another question. He's currently 3rd in the standings. He's currently on an outlap. So this is not a timed lap we're seeing David Sabre on, but it is a very, very striking outlap, I think is the fairest way to put it. Bakula is still your leader, though. From Potter in 2nd place. Sabre is 3rd. Hood is 4th. Kaplinski is 5th. Then Sutram is 6th. Halil Sin is 7th. And Simone Gilardi is 8th. We've lost somebody. We have got a car that has departed the service. So whether that car rejoins us before the session draws to a close, I don't know. We've currently got 4 minutes and 20 seconds of the session to go. So we are rocketing through this session as a rapid rate or not. So it doesn't feel like 15 minutes has been put on the board. This session, Saber's spun it. We've got a spin down at, that was down at the exit of Cobb, I think. So he's managed to regain us. We've got Owen Potter around at Club. So it's all gone manner of wrong. Both chicanes simultaneously. It's is always the way. So our director can't keep up with it. Racing drivers love to do that to TV directors, don't they? Pascal Mikula is coming through then. He's the current leader in the standings. He is currently the first place man. He's going to get David Sabre, but I think Sabre will probably let him through if David has noticed he's there or not. As they make their way around, and Pascal Mikula go around the outside of him as they make their way into the right-hander at Church. And then out of that corner, down at the back straight of Brooklands, and then they'll be into the braking zone at Club Corner very, very, very quickly. So brakes will be applied. Are we going to see a lock-up from the number 3 car? No, that's about the only car I've seen today that hasn't locked up. As I say, locking up, David Sabre does likewise, and then Pascal classes across the curb, and so nearly loses it on the exit of the corner. Well held. So he comes across the line. What's McKillar going to do? Across the line it is a 127.016. So that wasn't an improvement by any means of the imagination. But nonetheless, it was a rather spectacular final corner to look at. So the question is, though, has anyone got an answer for Pascal Mikula, or is he set for pole position of heat number 1, I wonder? Like I say, the even-numbered cars in qualifying go through into heat number 1. So positions 1st, 3rd, 5th and 7th, so I mean the odd-numbered cars, not the even-numbered. The even-numbered are Heat 2. So that's going to be positions 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm not going to finish that off, apart from just saying who do we appreciate. So Mikula has got a massive slide, and then he's gone. Round he goes. Where's he going off? So that was a massive moment as he went around, and that was down at the right-hander at Village, I believe. That one's just gone spinning off at. As we now have the car that we have lost and then regained. So Jacka Salby has rejoined us. Halil Sin is going round nicely at the moment. He is in 7th place. He's on an outlap at the moment. Owen Potter's behind him. Potter is also on an outlap as well. So these two together aren't really implicating each other too badly. as they're both on out laps. So Hinner seemed to let him go around the outside. Yep, he's let the 28 car through with very little in the way of issue. And maybe we'll try and get the slipstream. 1 minute and 15 seconds to go in the session in the meantime. So the laps are going to be rapidly ticking down. So it will be, I think, looking at the time, see anybody who hasn't started a lap now, this will be their final lap. Because I think we're not going to see any more cars get round. So these two here that are coming to the timeline will probably be the last two cars to start a lap. So I think that's how it's going to work. Potter goes across the line to start his lap. Halil Sin will go across the line to start his lap as well and make his way round the first corner at Allard. So we're just... my timing screen's going to be buffering, but it's come back to life now. Jacka Slalby, hopefully he can get a lap in. He's currently in Sector 2 on an out lap. He may, yeah, with 24 seconds to go, I very much doubt he's going to get a lap in, so he's probably going to be starting from the back of the grid, unfortunately. So I don't think we're going to see all 9 cars set a lap in qualifying. But on the contrary, though, it does mean we're going to have a few more cars than normal, which is nice. We're on board now with the Shell Luxembourg car. I believe that's David Sabre in number 83. Sorry, past, yeah, David Sabre number 83. He's now just gone across the line. So this isn't David Sabre, this is Halil Sin, I apologise. David Sabre has finished the session in the meantime. He didn't improve on the last lap. He did a 1:29.058. We've also seen Klapinski finish his session as well. Same for Jacka Slabby, but I don't think he got a lap in. Purple sector in the meanwhile for Giovanni Sutram. Purple sector in sector 2, 25.092. As Owen Potter's gone quickest, 1:26.838. So a good final lap there for Potter as Halil Sin comes across the line with a rather slow finish. Here's Sutram. He set a brilliant second sector. What's he going to do? Across the line. And he goes up to 4th with a 1:27.331. Anybody else for any? No, I think that's everybody now. Everyone else is in the pits or has already finished. So that concludes qualifying then for the Formula Fords. A good close session, certainly at the front of the grid, with the top 6 all within a second of each other. Very, very good stuff there. Here's Saturan pulling to the side of the road in number 70. A great run there from the Italian driver. But that rounds out qualifying for the Formula Fords here at Thruxton as Klapinski makes his way back into the pits. I think there's a couple more cars coming round to join us in the pit lane. We've got Jacka Salby on his in-lap as well, who will also join us in the pits. And once he is in there, that is the session officially done and dusted. Or rather not, as I don't think he's quite got the message that the session is over. He's going across the line, but the lap time has actually been counted, which I'm not sure I was expecting it to be so. But he's managed to get a 1:36.275. So whether the officials will count that lap or not, I'm not sure, as it was done after the time had run out. So I suspect that may have been disallowed. And Simone Gilardi will be given the 8th position, so will therefore start position number 4 in heat number 2. Yes, heat 2. But I'm not sure what they're going to say on that. We'll get a confirmation of that as and when we know. And as soon as I know, I'll pass it on to all of you and get it all sorted. Right, so that's qualifying officially done with then. All the cars have set their respective lap times. And we'll be underway with Heat 1 very shortly. We're just going to get things turned around now and just get everyone arranged into their respective heats, which I think on the most part we've got sorted anyway. The checkered flag has just gone out, and the pack make their way back to the holding area as we just see the Magic Dancing pace car in the pit lane. But other than that, we're going to go to... Let's have a look at the grids. So the Heat 1 grid is going to be Pascal Makula on pole position, David Sabre outside row 1, then Chris Hood on row 2, and Halil Sahin on position number 4. On position 5 is going to be Simone Gilardi. he's going to round out the Heat number 1 grid. So Heat 2 grid, pole position Owen Potter. Second place is going to be Giovanni Setrame. Then it's going to be Klipinski rounding out the second half of the grid in position number 3. And then they have been nice enough to let Jacques Salvi keep his grid position and go off the back of Heat 2 rather than Heat number 1.
Now, sorry to cut in there. So Owen Potter actually was more than honest enough to tell me, or to tell the race director, that he cut the last chicane on his hot lap, which means he asked for the lap to be invalidated, which, fair enough, it was done. So even though he claimed pole position, he got down to second place. That's why he's in Heat number 2. Now, with that being said, while I set the grid and do the little driver's briefing, why don't we go for a short little, let's call it a 3-minute commercial break, and we'll be right back for Formula Ford Heat 1. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that'll do nicely. So, as Pascal says, we'll just go to an advert break for a few minutes. We'll be back with you in the very near future with Formula Ford Heat number 1 of the afternoon.
A double pleasure's waiting for you. A double pleasure from Double Mint Gum. A double great feeling, making you realize Double Mint's the one for you. Double fresh, double smooth, double delicious to chew. A double pleasure is waiting for you. Double Mint Gum. A double pleasure is waiting for you. Double Mint Gum.
Carnation Instant Breakfast. You're gonna love it in an instant. You're gonna love it in an instant. So good and frosty, rich and tasty. Carnation Instant Breakfast. You're gonna love it in an instant. You'll also love that Carnation Instant Breakfast is now even easier to make with this free shaker mug. See specially marked boxes for mail-in offer details. Carnation Instant Breakfast. In regular and no sugar added. You're gonna love it in an instant.
My roommate said, "Gee, Shelley, your skin looks really good. It couldn't be because of Dove." I said, "Jen, it must be."
We asked women to give up their soap and use Dove for 7 days.
I had some dry spots right here. After using Dove for 7 days, they're gone.
Dove contains 1/4 moisturizing cream. Its non-soap formula won't dry your face like soap.
Everybody wants to look touchable. With Dove, my skin feels wonderful.
City News, Mr. Keebler. Can you tell us what your new sandwich cookies look like? No comment. Well, we hear they've got creamy fillings. No comment.
Keebler introduces new EL Fudge sandwich cookies. Buttery cookies with creamy fudge. Chocolatey cookies with peanut butter middles. And chocolatey cookies with vanilla cream.
We hear they're all delicious.
They are? Oh, were you talking to the cookie?
The cookie? No comment.
New EL Fudge sandwich cookies from Keebler.
Right, hello and welcome back to Thruxton Circuit for Formula Ford's round number 7. But just before we get underway, just a bit of housework really, just to keep you up to date what's going on in the near future at the Classic Motorsport Hub. The next race meeting for us will be this time next week, same place, same time, believe it or not, for round number 8 of the BARC 1973 Formula Ford National Championship at Alton Park, the second visit of the year to the Alton Park circuit up in Cheshire. So great to see the Formula Fords back there. That's going to be next Thursday, July the 7th, and it will be the same start time as it will always be. So that'll be 6 o'clock start time, British Summer Time here next Thursday. Right.
And hey, if you want to take part, come join the forum. It's classicmotorsporthub.boards.net. There are 40 cars in these grids, so come on, let's fill them up. These things are a hell of a lot of fun.
Exactly. Anyway, back to today's action then. We've got the cars that are here for Heat 1 all sieved out. So that means we've got 5, believe it or not. And they're going to join us on track first off, because as you would expect, Heat 1 becomes before Heat 2. That's the basic arithmetic behind it. Right, so we are just about ready to rumble, I think, for this one. David Saber is currently showing off a little bit in the server with a fastest lap, but he's the only person to have set a lap, so that's not very difficult. He's set a 1:28.485 in this little interval between sessions, so he's just had another couple of practice laps, I think. Not that he really needs them going off his pace in the championship thus far. But we are just on the verge of getting going, I think. And once we've got the all clear, we'll get going. I think we're just sorting grids out, which will obviously determine where the cars start. This will be a standing start for the Formula Fords. No green flag lap either, which makes it even more entertaining. So, obviously, we'll get things sorted as and when we know them. And I will endeavour before the next race to try and get the championship standings for you following the last round at Cadwell Park in Lincolnshire, which is basically the Nürburgring of the UK, as many would call it, with undulation change in it. It's a very, very lively track, very exciting little track as well. So, like I say, this will be a standing start with no formation lap. So that's the gist of it. They don't get a green flag lap, these cars. They just got to go out there on cold tyres and do what they can do with them. So the championship standings as well for you, just whilst we're here. David Saber currently leads the championship on 78 points. Behind him is Pascal Mikula on 76 points, so very, very close there. Joe Gillett is in third place, 52 points. He's not here tonight, so his championship is slowly withering away. Behind him is Owen Potter on 45, so pretty much as long as Potter scores now, he will overtake him in the standings, because there's only 7 points between them. Then Matthew Sebbiani will be the fifth place car on 37. That's the top five in the standings going tonight. And as I say, Gillett and Sebbiani are not here tonight. So those two are going to be losing ground in the championship. Checkered flag's just gone out on that warm-up session in the meanwhile. Only like one car set a lap time anyway, so it's not like it was particularly important. We are just letting the possessed pace car do its thing in the meanwhile. I'm not quite sure where that's off to. Well, it's gone now. Anyway, the car's now on the starting grid for this one. This will be 8 laps of action for the Formula Fords. Heat 1 of their day about to get underway for the first race action of the evening. David Saber on pole position will lead them off, provided he can get to the first corner first off, of course. So there is Pascal Mikula on the right-hand side of the grid. So the inside line is it the place to be, I wonder, but the lights are off and away we go. We're underway racing. Race 1 the night. The Formula Ford's underway for Heat 1. Pascal Mikula's got a great jump on the inside line and takes the lead into the first bend at Allard. We've got a car that hasn't started. Somebody's still in the pit lane, so we've only got 4 on track at the moment. David Saber's second place. They're coming to the chicane for the first time. Saber's chucked it down the inside. Are they all going to get round? The answer to that question is, so far, yes, they have. The top 3 are squabbling like no tomorrow. Halil Sahin has dropped a long way off the grid in 4th place. He's a fair way behind these lot as they make their way around to go to the first sector beam. Just checking to see how far back Halil has fallen. He's 2.8 seconds back from the car in front of him. The top 3 are on top of each other. Saber, Mikula and Hood. 1, 2, 3 as quickly as that as they make their way round the long sweeping right-hander at Village. And they're going to be effectively bump drafting each other down the Brooklyn Straight as they make their way round. It's very, very close over the front. It's almost like pack racing in NASCAR that these drivers are demonstrating here. Hood's got the slipstream of 2 cars, which is very impressive. And we'll get a massive run down the inside as they come into the club chicane. Now, boys, can you all get it stopped, I wonder? The answer to that question is at the moment, it's looking like they certainly will do. As Saber's got back to the Mikula's got shuffled back to 3rd place in an almighty scrap there. Got a lock up behind us. We nearly lost the Turkish driver of Halil Sinov. I think he may have just had to cut the chicane there as he's locked up in the background. Mikula's got back to 2nd. And now David Saber has broken away at the front and has got a 1.3 second lead after the first lap of racing has taken place. And in fact has, I think, lost a bit of ground there as they went round Allard for the second time through the left-hander. Towards Campbell they come for lap number 2 as they come through the first complex once again. We're on board now with Chris Hood in the Apple Computers sponsored car as Mikula's gone sideways and gone off the track in the Lola, so he's run a bit wide. Chris Hood, of course, also in a Lola T340. The Merlin is the car in the front at the moment of David Saber, the only Merlin here tonight. It's certainly proving its point as a rather lively car. So at the moment we've still got just the 4 of them circulating as we've got a moment there as Chris Hood's gone a bit deep into the right-hander at, that was, I believe, the right-hander at Goodwood as they make their way round towards Village and Church once again. Round they come again. David Saber is away on the front now. He's currently 2.2 seconds clear of these two behind, fighting very heavily. So 3 and 4 fighting on track together. You couldn't ride it, could you? Well, you could. Just put them in positions 3 and 4 rather than 2 and 3. As Chris Hood makes a dive to the inside of McCullough as they come into the braking zone for Club. It's going to be side by side. Oh, McCullough's touched the back of Hood and they've both gone a bit wide and Hood's off the track. He's going off. He's just about managed to stop it from spinning around. But that may be a penalty for some contact there. I'm not sure. Hood has to go the wrong side of the bales. And that is passing McCullough back through for second place after a rather interesting note down at Club Corner. That's the first bit of contact of the night in the race anyway. Right, so after that, we've had a right old shake-up of order in that one as Chris Hood's gone off again at Alan. That's the third time tonight he's been caught doing that. He hasn't hit the barrier this time at least. That's the only time tonight he's not gone off there and hit the barriers. So with that, I think we've somewhat lost our main on-track battle here. And that's just a case of can Pascal McCullough catch David Saber for the race lead. As they make their way around, Saber has lost ground. It's down to 1.1 seconds on the last timing screen that time. That's half of what it was when they went through Sector 2 on the last occasion. Chris Hood is there in third, and we have lost Halil Sahin. He has gone off the track, so I don't know whether he's binned it or not, but he's not there on the track anymore. He's gone somewhere in the first sector. So unfortunately, that is his race over. They're coming on to complete lap number 3 this time, so we are rapidly getting through this race here at Thruxton. Just an 8-lap race, of course, not the longest race in the world. Of course, distance-wise, it's no different to the others, but lap time-wise, it's a bit quicker. McCullough's spun it, and he's going to go down the pit lane. Oh, not quite. He saved it from going down the pit lane. Watch the rejoin. Chris Hood gets round him, so Chris Hood has retaken second place as Pascal McCullough dipped a wheel on the curb there, and the car just flicked around and almost went down the pit lane. I think there may have been a few panicking people running around there trying to avoid said car if it had come down the pit lane. But with that, Chris Hood is now through for second. David Saber's out for a Sunday drive at this point. He's not seen anybody since the start of the race. So I think David Saber's possibly out to set the tee set up at this stage and going to stop for a picnic and still be in front of these two. So it's still Saber from Hood and McCullough. Nobody else is running. We didn't even see one of the cars make the start. The ironic thing is that car probably could rejoin us and still get a higher place than the car that started the race that's retired. So David Saber's lead is now 7.7, or it's adjusting all the time, isn't it? Well, it's somewhere between 7 and 9 seconds, if that's any help to anybody. It was 8 seconds last time the game picked up. I'm looking at the live timing, which has been a bit more accurate at this stage. The race has currently been going on for about 6 minutes, and we've completed 3 of the laps. About to tick off lap number 4, I think, as the leader is going to the club chicane. Pascal McCullough's on the charge, trying to catch Chris Hood for the second position, trying to retake it. Of course, though, these two have got to remember that, in fairness, they may be fighting for position, but of course, the overall lap time, the overall race time decides the grid. And why is David Saber there? I think David Saber lost it, funnily enough, and Chris Hood now takes the lead. What has got into these drivers in this race? This is incredible. Nobody wants to win this race. David Saber's now got alongside Chris Hood. They're going side by side into the chicane at Campo, which can be a very, very hairy moment if they all go in together, which they've done so. They make more contact. Hood hits the back of Saber. McCullough's coming around the outside of Hood. Hood's now gone from first to third in one move. Saber's back to the lead, and McCullough's back to second. So, whoever wrote the script for this race has certainly done a good job of it, because it's working wonders as they make their way around. David Saber's back to the lead predictably, and this is the stage he'll probably run away again. But Pascal McCullough's staying with him this time, which is a positive, and McCullough's going to try and chuck it down the inside at Goodwood of all places. You don't normally chuck it down the inside there. And Chris Hood's run wide in the background. Has he gone off? I don't know. He's regained the track if he did go off, so that was a bit of a moment for Chris Hood in the background. If you remember my flags, I think he's a Romanian driver, so I don't see many of those out, do you? But David Saber's now pulled away at the front. He's now got a 1 second advantage to Pascal McCullough, and it's 1 second advantage back to Chris Hood. So they're all separated by exactly the same margin. Very impressive stuff. So we are at the we have surpassed the halfway stage. 4 laps gone. It'll be 4 to go this time. So the halfway signal has been withdrawn, and we're now on to the second half of the race, rather well and truly at this stage. So Sabre leads it, Mikula is second, and he's still on the hunt of David Sabre. Chris Hood, unfortunately, has dropped off the back of these two at the moment, so he's not really in contention anymore, which is a shame. But Sabre and Mikula running line astern. Sabre is leaving the door open on the inside for Mikula to come down the inside at Cobb, but unfortunately that isn't going to happen. So they're going to switch back and try going side by side around Surgrave, I think that is, as they make their way into the left-hander at Noble, maybe the right-hander at Goodwood, which is incidentally because that's very similar to the St Mary's complex at Goodwood itself. As Sabre's on the grass, Mikula's taken the lead over, and Sabre's gone off. Sabre's off. Can he regain the track, I wonder? He's on the track, no end. The track's a little bit over to the right, David, if you wouldn't mind going back on it. There you go. He's got back on it and lost a place to Chris Hood in number 4. So David Sabre has dropped back to 3rd. So things not going all the way for the championship leader. But to be fair, this race has been a very, very scrappy one, with everybody making mistakes here, there and everywhere, really. In other news, we've got a 4th car back on track. Spin, the leader's gone. We've lost the leader. And Chris Hood's gone off in avoidance. So with all that, has David Sabre retaken the lead? No, Chris Hood's got back on the track in front of him. What happened there? Sebastian Mikula, he's lost it and gone. So Chris Hood now retakes the lead. David Sabre's back through for 2nd. Mikula's down to 3rd. We've got Simon. We've got Simone on track now in the 340 Lola. So he's on track as well. So the lead is now going to be given back to David Sabre, I think. No, Chris Hood's held it round the outside. So Hood leads it, Sabre 2nd place, Mikula's 3rd. We've got another car on track, but it is 5 laps down, so it doesn't really matter at this stage. So, after all that, we've completed 6 laps. We're on lap number 7 now, to my knowledge, so it'll be 1 lap this time by. So 1 lap this time by when they cross the timing line this time around. In what has been an absolutely insane race for the Formula Fords. Nobody wants to win this race, I think, is my theory on it. Anyone would think it would be last is first at this point, with the amount of spins we've had. So Chris Hood is your leader. David Sabre 2nd place. They come back towards the club chicane once again. They're going to be there in about, 10 seconds time, possibly. So they're now into the braking zone, past the marshal post. And Chris Hood dives to the inside of David Sabre. Gets the lead. Sabre slots in behind him, though. They clatter over the curbs. Last lap board out. So last lap board is out for Chris Hood, your race leader. I don't think he'll be the race. They come the end of the race, interestingly enough. I think David Sabre will probably retake it before they come back to the start-finish line. He's got 2.3 miles in which to do it, at least. And he's now effectively pushing Chris Hood into the chicane at Campbell. He's going around the outside of Campbell, and Chris Hood's gone straight on! And he's gone off the track, and David Sabre says thanks so much and takes the lead back as Chris Hood very nearly went and replicated that massive accident in the British Truck Racing Championship here back in 2020 when a truck cleared the barrier there. But David Sabre has now taken the lead and has run away at the front. Chris Hood is down to 2nd place as Sebastian Mikula is still keeping a watching brief in 3rd, but I think he is too far gone really to challenge either of these two for the win. And like I say, I think it's fair to say that the 5th place car is not really in contention, been 5 and a bit laps down. In fact, has just retired from the race. So it's just the final 3 left in this one for this first seat of the day for the Formula Fords. What an extraordinary race it has been as they come into the final sector of the lap now. Chris Hood has closed up again on David Sabre, but it's too little too late. Another lap and he would have done it. Into the club chicane for the final time, and David Sabre comes into the final bend. Providing there's no more altercations with the curbs, he should be okay to take the race win. Here he comes out of the final bend. Show flag's at the ready for him, and your race winner is number 83 of David Sabre. As he comes to the timing line now, show flag goes up and he goes down on him. 2nd place is Chris Hood in number 4, and then the 3rd place car is going to be Pascal Mikula in number 3. So what a very, very bizarre and unusual race there for the Formula Fords. Action everywhere we looked, and that certainly, folks, is a sign of things to come for the rest of the night, I'm sure. So Heat 2 will be on track very shortly. So any cars Heat 2, can you please start making your way to the servers? You will be required to do so very shortly. But the results as I saw it then, first David Saber, number 83, second Chris Hood, number 4, and third Pascal McCullough, number 3. But that is all subject to confirmation by race control, of course, who may have a say in any instance in that race. So there are plenty of them to talk about, and I'm sure a couple of them will get looked at if need be. Right, so that's a win for David Saber. We'll see how the lap times compare to heat number 2, which will be coming on track very, very shortly. Of course, the two heats combined time-wise will set the grid up a bit like Rallycross. And like I say, once we've got that sorted out, we will give you the grid for the final, but we've still got another heat to run prior to that. So there's another A-lap heat to come your way, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meanwhile, we're just going to go for a quick break. I'll be back with you very shortly with our 7th round of the series for the National Formula 4 Championship.
It's a battle between two of the top teams in the American League as Minnesota takes on the New York Yankees. Or the Los Angeles Dodgers meet St. Louis on ABC's Monday Night Baseball.
First time I saw him, he was a dirty-faced little kid wearing a baseball cap. I watched him play baseball in American Legion and all the way through high school. I called the front office and I said, this kid can really hit. Sign him. He's going to be an all-star. Kid's name was George Brett. I've just seen something else. And let me tell you, don't buy another car until you've seen a Sterling.
Hour hand, minute hand, second hand, sweet. Time is of the essence, gotta pick it up a beat. Because time is money and money is time. The one that does it faster is the one that we buy. High gear, full tilt, gotta get it done. Quick, 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 bite fast food, eat it on the run. Rush job, turn around, speed is now the key. Tell them that you want it ASAP. Get it in an instant, punch and run. Out by 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We live in an instant world. Why not make an instant fortune? Play Fortune Instant Lottery. You could win a quick million.
Good morning. Burger King presents Breakfast to Go. Yeah, to go. Crust sandwich. To go. French toast sticks. To go. Breakfast to go. Burger King, the best food for fast times.
Mike Jackson and Diane Burns tonight at 10.
Wow. All this work's making me really hungry.
McDonald's introduces Super Summer Sizes.
Laughs around the pool make me so thirsty.
Larger than large mega servings of icy Coca-Cola, golden fries, and thick milkshakes, but for a limited time only. So drive through today.
Serving up summertime at McDonald's. Milk kick. Kick. Everybody knows how to do that kick. Help kick. Pour a glass of milk real tall, getting proteins and vitamins and loving it all. Kick, 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 kick. Milk kick. Kick. Come on, everybody. America's favorite health kick milk.
Bill Cosby on Great Film Developing.
This is my dog. We lost Best of Show at a big dog show. That was a sad night. He was very upset. I took some pictures, remember? Huh? Well, now you don't think I'd take them just anywhere to be developed. Here, come on, look at them.
Ask for the Kodak Color Watch system. This Color Watch seal says only Kodak products are used for great developing.
He's still upset. I show him the pictures. He says, Arf. Color Watch, you're going to thank me for it.
This is a Cajun Spice Ruffles tater chip. Now, some people might think it's too hot. No, it's not too hot. It's spicy, yeah. Now it's hot, I'll guarantee.
Cajun Spice Ruffles brand potato chips.
Mama thinks it's special. How do I know? 'Cause my Skippy tells me so.
Of all the national brands, only Skippy has both high protein and less sugar.
Glad my mama put Skippy in Ireland.
Skippy for good nutrition.
Welcome back to where are we? Thruxton. Yes, next up will be Well, you see it on your screen, not actually no, but next up will be on CMH, the 8th round. I think it's the 8th round of the, yes it is, the 8th round of the 1971 SCCA Trans Am Championship at Watkins Glen, live from the Glen. July 17th, 2022, which is next week I think it's a 2 weeks Sunday. And, well, Ben, you mentioned you were racing in stock car. I think the British definition of stock car racing is different than what the Americans would think. But I think you can agree that these big, heavy American machines, 5-liter engines, 500 horsepower, they're a lot of fun as well, aren't they? Have you tried them yet?
I've never tried them actually, but yes, they are very big beasts, and as you say, they're very different to what over in the UK we've come to know as stock car racing, with the cars now being single-seater, high-speed specials with metal bumpers on them that, yes, race full contact. I know that's hard for most motor racing fans to get their head around, but yeah, we still obviously keep the traditional V8 motor, as they would say in America, 750 horsepower Chevrolet V8s, but obviously the Trans Am cars are very different sort of machinery. They are, to be fair, they're closer to a stock car than anything we could think of. They still run in NASCAR anyway, which is sort of what it's become. The cars are all space frame cars now, but you can still see the Toyota Camrys and Mustangs, whatever. But yeah, the SCCA Trans Am cars are the definition of what a stock car should be. And yeah, they are very, very powerful beasts and handle like a small planet. So it really ticks the boxes for an American muscle car.
Well, that's just about it. Okay. Now, that being said, we are now about to get started with Heat 2 of this event. Your grid will be Owen Potter, who originally had pole position for Heat 1, but he was honest enough to come forward to race direction and ask for his time to be invalidated because he cut the final chicane. So just for that, Owen, I'm going to give you 5 points in the standings. Actually, no, I'm not. That would be a little bit of a gray area thing. Either way, all right, I am now also back live on the chat room. Yes, so Owen Potter will start this race from pole position next to Giovanni Centorame. He had a very good qualifying. So he qualified 4th in the qualifying session, and he will be there in 2nd place. Right behind Owen Potter will be... we have the second row is Polish. So we have Cezary Szlapinski in 3rd, and Jacek Szlabi. I'm going to assume you pronounce it Jacek Szlabi. Because that's, I think, how... I don't know. So in 4th place, we have Jacek Szlabi, who joined us really last minute. So first of all, welcome, Jacek Szlabi, to CMH. Hopefully you will be here for a long, long time. And I hope you have fun. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds left until we are go. I predict it's going to be a battle at the front between... Well, I mean, looking at the qualifying lap times, the only driver who is a bit off pace in this lineup will be Jacek Szlabi. Understandable, because he didn't have any actual practice, and he only joined last second in the number 75 Hawk DL11. So I think this is going to be a battle at the front for 8 laps between Szlapinski and Potter, who we just saw spin.
Yeah, so you're predicting that. I'm predicting a right, funnily enough, going off that last race. That was incredible stuff. I've never seen the lead change so often in that. We've got Owen Potter now doing a practice start on the grid, which, since you've got the cameras on, if he messes it up, we'll all see it. Speaking of messing up, I'm not quite sure that's gone. There's a nice Cessna 182 in the background as well for any playing fanatics amongst the audience. Not that there are any. But yeah, Owen Potter's done his practice start without us looking at him, so it's obviously worked. If we'd had the camera on it, it wouldn't have. So he's now away on a lap of some description. He's got 5 seconds to do his lap, which I don't think is enough, as I think he's just realised and gone clashing over the curbs at the first chicane. But I think we're just about ready to go with Heat 2 of the day. And hopefully it'll be just as exciting as the first one. If it's any more exciting, I think I'm going to need to have a lay down before the final.
You know what's funny? What I just noticed. So in Heat 1, we had 4 Lolas and 1 Merlin. So we had Sahin and Gilardini, Hood, and myself in a Lola, and David Saber in a lone Merlin. Heat 2, we have Cesario Schlapinski in a Van Diemen FA73, and then we've got Owen Potter in a Hawk DL11. We got Giovanni Centerame in a Hawk DL11, and take a wild guess what car Jacek Slaby is driving.
Is it another Hawk by any chance? Or am I messing that up completely?
I'm gonna have to challenge my inner Walter White and say you're goddamn right. It is 3 Hawk DL11s versus 1 Van Diemen FA73. Please ignore the Lola T340 on the in the pits. That is me. I will be watching from the pits. With that being said, I think we're about ready to go.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the Van Diemen would be looked at like a pack of hawks.
I see what you did there. All right, let's just quickly call the next session. There we go.
Or on the contrary, the Demon could be coming for the Hawks. We don't know.
We'll see. 25 seconds left until. So, the 20-second board is out. I'm wondering the first 3 cars, they are all starting line astern. I'm not sure if that is not how it's supposed to be, but I think that's going to make for some interesting racing.
Yeah, I think.
Have you ever seen that?
I have seen that at a very badly arranged Mallory Park one afternoon when nobody realised it was a green flag lap and suddenly starts seeing problems. Speaking of which, we're away in racing, and Owen Potter's got the lead as they go down towards Allard for the first time. So Tarame is through into second place in the early stage, but I think he's got Klapinski trying to go really outside, which is a brave move at Allard, but he's had the door shut firmly in his face. So that was never going to work. If he didn't back out, there's going to be a rather large moment, I think, in the corner as they make their way to the chicane. This time, Potter's kept the lead as Klapinski's tried to force his nose, probably where it's not particularly wanted, but nonetheless, he's backed out of it, and they're now going to run single file as they go out of the chicane and run Segre for the first time.
And as I predicted, it is Potter leading Centerame and Schlapinski, and you get Schlaby. He is almost 4 seconds behind already. Again, not very surprising, and I'm not judging. But if he gets to the finish, he's definitely guaranteed to start ahead of Halil Sahin and Simone Gilardini, both of whom failed to finish the first heat.
Yeah, you should point that out because Gilardini did actually join in heat number 1, but only for about 2 laps on his final. And meanwhile, we've had a battle going on for second place. Klapinski is really giving Centerame some rather immense pressure, and in turn, they're getting some attention as well.
It looks very clean, though. They are leaving each other at least 6 feet of space, as per social rules nowadays, if you can call it that. I'm watching Slaby. He is taking club chicane very carefully.
I think that's going to be a given. With very little practice, he doesn't quite know what the car's going to do, so that will probably explain his driving style. Owen Potter, on the contrary, is driving like there's no tomorrow, really. And to be fair, regarding this race meeting, there isn't, because it's a one-day race meeting. So Tarame is there in second place in the number 70 car. You're not going to miss that car. It's a very fluorescent green. And then behind him, you've got Klapinski rounding out the top 3. And like you say, Slaby is not really in contention for this race, but he probably still can qualify ahead of a couple of other drivers that, as we say, didn't complete the distance in Heat 1. And you can't also rule out the fact in this race that the top 3 won't get a bit too exuberant and wipe each other out in the process of battling.
Oh, if that happens, this is going to be an even bigger drama than Heat 1 if that happens. Oh, Schlapinski just touched the grass a little bit. Can report Schlapinski touched grass, even twice now. Well, yeah, the thing is really with Jacek Slaby, he really only has to finish. That's all. He doesn't need to push. He doesn't need any pace, really. He only has to finish this race, and he's on the way to do exactly that.
Yep, so Tarame tried to look around the outside of
Oh,
Potter going
Owen
into
just
the
had a bit of a-
chicane. And yep, Potter's on a moment, and Klipinski's gone all four wheels over the curb and done a rather spectacular jump, which I'm sure the suspension isn't thanking him for any bit. So Tarame is sort of in the middle of the sandwich here. Meanwhile, Owen Potter had the fastest lap for all of about 2 seconds before Klipinski came through and took it away from him.
Oh, look at Chantarame. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. He's looking. He's looking. Oh, big lock up from him. But if he hadn't locked up, he would have just clobbered right into him.
I think
that was close.
Sort of hoping that was going to be the case, but unfortunately for him, it didn't happen. Fortunately for us, the spectators and the two involved, it didn't come together.
Absolutely. So I was just looking at Slobby. Again, he's struggling a little bit. He just had a bit of an off at the first corner. Well, not off, but he went sideways. That is for sure. However, I just feel like he deserves to be. He deserves to send up some updates. So again, he's still in fourth, but he's still running. Meanwhile, yeah, as you said, I mean, look, Szapinski got past Chantarame, and Potter is spinning. Spotter's off at church. There he goes. Hey, back on track. Come on, the track, the black stuff. Owen, the black. There you go. Yeah, good boy. And Chantarame is taking the lead. There he is, and he's touching
he's on the grass.
Wow, that is that was a ballsy move, but it worked. They touched.
It did until Klipinski tried to, as we were saying during the interval, he tried to do his best impression of British stock car racing there and put the bumper in. But yes, Owen Potter's now had his obligatory spin within a race. I don't think I've ever seen a circuit race where he hasn't lost it, to be honest. Klipinski's really challenging the back of Tarame here. Nearly goes to the back of him, unfortunately, but they've just managed to survive it as they go through the chicane to the left-hander at Cobb, and they'll make their way around towards Noble for what is going to be the fourth time. 3 laps have been put in the books, by the way. We've not really been keeping up to date.
Oh, he's not going to move around the outside there, is he? Oi.
No, you can't make him move around the outside there. The corner's just too long to do it. He's now going to fall in line behind, but whether he can make a move coming down to the braking zone at Club Chicane is another question. That is the main overtaking place.
We've got Church Corner coming up. Hold on. Oh, he's past him, but is he going to make Church Corner is the question. Well, he is. But Chantarame now has a perfect opportunity to counter that.
Yep, certainly, as they make their way down the back
again at Church. Oh, he's off again.
Okay, so I'm guessing that means we've lost the 28 car for a second time this race. Klipinski's on side by side at Tarame going through the chicane, and Klipinski's come out on top amazingly in 53. And the rate these lot are going, this is certainly looking to be the quicker of the 2 heats so far.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we don't have that much drama at the front. However, well, yeah, you're right. As I said, we have lost Potter. We have lost the number 28 car for the second time in as many laps at the same corner. I think Owen may have a bit of a compromised setup. Again, because with the regulation change, with the fuel tanks coming, and you kind of need to change your setup for that. So you need to you need to make your car a little bit less dependent on the rear, because you don't have that much weight on it anymore. And maybe Owen didn't do enough to set his car up for the new weight balance, let's call it that, and that's gonna bite him now. So,
yeah, I do think Owen may have been caught out by the new weight distribution of the cars. As you say, the fuel tanks have been moved around a bit on them. Potter is, when he was going into the chicane last time around, on the timing screen, his little dot on the map had a trail of fire behind it. So clearly, I don't know whether that's trying to say how frustrated he is or not, but I think
that means he's flooded. That means he's on fire. That means he's on fire. That means he's going as fast as he's pushing. He's angry. I think he's angry. Or at least he's not very happy with having spun twice. But yeah, he's putting up personal best mini sectors, let's call it that. But you got to string them together to put on a fast lap. And the fact he is 17 seconds behind the leaders. Oh, we are on lap 6? No, lap 5.
Yes, lap 6 now. We've done 5 laps, on to lap 6.
It's not very likely that he'll actually get anywhere near them now.
No, but we said that about Heat 1 when David Saber was away and gone. Just I'd like to point out as well, on that previous lap, Tarami, who we're looking at now, said the fastest lap of the race, so 127.375.
He just had a little bit of a sideways moment there.
Yep. And Klapinski's still got the lead, but he's got a mirror full of the green hawk.
Look at
maybe hawks out there.
They are going very much in sync through these corners. They are taking very much the identical lines. And look at that. Centorami has a better exit now. Oh, he's looking. He's beside him. He's waving goodbye as he goes past him.
Yep. Max Change from making a different sort of gestures. Down the inside he comes. He's got the move on the inside. Last of the late breakers into the chicane. And the Italian has got through on the inside, dropping the Polish driver down into second. So that's how they come across the time this time. And let's go check the split time when they come across the line. 1/10 of a second. Any advances on that? Purple lappers, meanwhile, as Centrame's set yet another purple lap, a 126.480.
So let's see. Owen is he's not gaining any time on them, although he hasn't spun in a few laps. He's not really gaining any time on them, so that's going to be a straight battle between Centorami and Schlapinski. Oh, they almost touched there. Did you see that?
Yeah, they got a bit close. Owen Potter has set a personal best lap on the previous circulation. By the way, it'll be one lap this time, everybody. So 1 lap to go this time by. So the last lap board will be getting prepared from the pit wall. Meanwhile, Jack Aslaby has his personal best lap as well, 133.066. That may not sound particularly spectacular, but it is 5 seconds quicker than his lap in qualifying.
Very much so, and look at that. They are going side by side again towards Club Corner.
Yeah, this could be an interesting moment into the chicane.
I have a feeling. I don't want to jinx it, but I'm having a feeling that this might end ugly on the last lap if one of them, loses concentration or fails to take care enough. Let's hope that's not going to happen. But final lap, 1 lap to go.
Kaplinski certainly lost time through the final chicane there because he got the car a little bit crossed up, unfortunately, which has allowed Centorami to pull away, sadly, from Klapinski, or rather, fortuitously, on the other hand. I think we should say, Klapinski gone sideways, and here he goes around. He saved it. Good save, good sir. And he's got to get up. That wasn't quite so well saved. Around he goes completely.
And doing a burnout. He's overheating his tires, and that is Giovanni Centorami winning the seat. We have first-time winners today. Well, in Formula Ford at least, being Centorami and Hood. Unless something happens to Centorami, that is.
Yeah, so Centorami is, without a shadow of doubt, away and gone.
Yes, I was going to say, speaking of which, he almost went off before Club, but now he's not Club, Church.
Yes, so that means he has got away. He's got to try and survive the final chicane, which we've seen catch a couple of drivers out here and there this evening, as they make their way into Club Chicane for the first time. And Centorami is certainly set for a race win here through the chicane. Right, left, then right again. And here he comes to the start-finish line. Checkered flag is at the ready for him. Here he comes to the start-finish line. It's a race win for Centorami in heat number 2 today for the Formula Ford. So he wins it in car 70. There'll be Klapinski across the line for second place, providing he's not lost it out of our sight. The Queen of the final chicane now, I think they're already across the line, in fact. He's second. Owen Potter will be across the line in third. And then I think we're hopefully going to see Slabby finish as well, because it would be very unfortunate if he didn't finish. Here he is, look, getting some screen time as they come round. That is the right-hander that Churchy's going round. He's, I think he was about half a lap down on the charts for this one. He's coming to the chicane for the final time now. Let's just see, can he survive it? I hope he does, because he's done a very, very good job to stay on track with very little practice. Oh, nearly went off there. I thought the commentator's curse was going to strike for the first time tonight. It hasn't. And Jack Aslaby will come across the line and finish the race in fourth, probably securing himself not quite last on the grid. He's forgotten where the start-finish line was there, but he has crossed it now, and will conclude the lineup for Formula Ford Heat 2.
So we've got a starting order before we go.
Okay.
Hold on. 1251.8925 first lobby. And your starting order for the heat, for the final heat, will be Giovanni Tintorami on pole position with an 1151.604. Then Schlapinski in second place, 1201.729. I said earlier that Chris Hood won Heat 1. That's not true. I'm sorry. I apologize. It was David Saber who won. And with his 1205.765, David Saber will start third. Chris Hood will start fourth with 12 minutes 6.771. Fifth place will go to Owen Potter, 1209.251. Yours truly, Pascal Mikola, 12 minutes 12.174. And then Jacek Schlaby, 12:51.925. Simona Gilardini will start after behind him, having DNF after completing a single lap. Same as Halil Sahin, who will start last. With that being said, let's do another little break, because we're going to prepare for the final. See you in about 5 minutes.
One of the activities around the house we enjoy is washing the family car. Ain't she a beauty? And when we're finished, we enjoy making A&W root beer floats, flipping in the ice cream, then pouring in that rich, creamy A&W. Now you try it. Darn, only had 20 payments left. Make yourself an A&W root beer float.
Just between you and me. This is one of nature's best kept beauty secrets.
Satisfying. And it's healthy for you, too.
Foxy, the natural beauty food.
Not since the days when Grandma was a bathing beauty has there been such a table-clearing phenomenon. The Friday Night Fun Club on ABC has everybody hungry for Perfect Strangers, Full House, and Mr. Belvedere. It's
Yummy and yummy.
And all you have to do is watch. Plus, this week, the new treat, Philby.
All right.
No pushy salesman will call. No physical required. It's all free on ABC. Oh, look at that. One look and you're hooked. Join the Friday Night Fun Club this week.
Saint-Tropez, France, Gstaad, Switzerland, Bali, Indonesia. You can search the world over and find nothing as luxurious as a big, thick Klondike ice cream sandwich. A veritable feast of elegant vanilla ice cream surrounded by a lavish cookie made with fabulous chocolate. Of course it's rich. And because it's Klondike, it's famous. No one puts chocolate and ice cream together like Klondike. Take it from Robin Leach.
About it, there's something going on. No other feeling even holds a candle.
Hey out there, Dad. I love you.
It's like a sea has sprouted, like spring has come sprung.
Awesome!
Clear shot, too hot to handle. It has been so long since I felt like I belong. Now at last I know that moment has come.
So, very warm welcome back to Thruxton for this Classic Motorsport presentation for the Formula Ford National Championship. Once again, before we get back into action, then we're just going to go through the upcoming events here at the Classic Motorsport Hub, as we have round number 9 of the National Formula Ford Series coming up at Croft on July 28th, our final Formula Ford race meeting ahead of the summer break, which will take us through till September. So we'll be underway with that very, very shortly. But like I say, back to today's action then. We've got the final getting prepared and ready to go here at Thruxton tonight. We've got 9 of them with us this evening, which is a decent entry of cars, which is always good to see here at Croft. So here at Thruxton, in fact, you can tell I'm reading the wrong piece of screen, can't you? Anyway, so everybody should be getting themselves set and ready to go. This is set to be one of the busiest races we've seen all season, with so many cars on track. Not quite double figures, which is a bit of a shame, but 9 of them is about as good as we're going to get away from double figures. More amazing, we're running practically on time. We're scheduling to start this race at 10 past the hour, and it's 10 past the hour now, so we may be in the region of a couple of minutes late, but we're not doing too badly. And in fact, there, right in queue, is the final car. You must have been listening to me. Right, so I think we are just about set to go then with our last race of the evening. This is tonight's Formula Ford Grand Final over a distance of 15 racing laps. So once we've got the all clear from around the server, will be underway with this race. So great to see so many cars here. Thank you very much to all the drivers for making their appearance tonight. It's very much appreciated to have a few more cars on track, and it certainly provides some more entertaining racing on the odd occasion with a few more cars. So don't forget all the upcoming meetings, of course, over the course of the next couple of weeks. Like I say, 2 Formula Ford meetings next month, as well as a Trans Am race as well on the 17th. All that is to come as we await the start of tonight's Formula Ford final. As I said earlier, I apologise that we haven't covered the Formula Ford as much as we would have liked in recent months due to various reasons. There was one meeting that was missed due to our director not being available, and then other meetings I've been missing. The last one I missed due to being a bank holiday over here in the UK. And obviously, as mentioning earlier about stock car racing, that was what took my interest that night. But we are ready to go then with what is set to be the final for all finals. Here we go then. 9 cars on the grid. This is the biggest entry I've seen in Formula Ford this season. We're about to go racing then. Revs start to rise around the grid. Who's it going to be? We'll find out. This is the only point scoring race of the night. The heats don't matter points-wise. Away we go then. And Satarami gets a great jump off the front of the grid and is away at the front. Klepanski's there, in fact, in wheel spin as he changes gear. There as they went around Allard for the first time, side by side between 17.53. We've got them all charging into the bend behind, and they've all survived Allard for the first time. But here's the main question. Can they survive the chicane? We're about to find out. Klapinski leads it into the chicane. Potter's come charging through for 3rd place after starting a bit further down the grid in 5th. They're all round the chicane okay. I think everybody is still circulating, which is a very, very, very good thing, as we really don't want to lose any cars this early on in the proceedings. The bump drafting in the meanwhile for 4th place by looks at David Sabers pulled away a little bit though from the car chasing, which I believe is Pascal McCuller. It's nice having just one of those cars tonight because I can't get them confused. But your leader is, without a shadow of a doubt, still Klapinski, who's run away at the front. 2nd place is still Cesarame. As at 3rd place is Owen Potter. David Saber is 4th and Pascal McCuller is 5th. Chris Hood is 6th. And then beyond that, they've all dropped a little bit further away from the back of the grid. As David Saber's got Pascal McCuller looking down his inside as they come into the club chicane. And McCuller's almost been forced off the track. They're 3 wide almost as Potter comes across the front of them as well. McCuller's locked up big star. Chris Hood is looking as well to try and get past all 3 of these drivers. Potter bouncing over the curb as well, just for good measure. But these 4 or 5 have stayed relatively compact. 2nd place down to 6th. Klapinski's run away at the front though. He's really just checked out at this point, hasn't been seen since the start. Pascal McCuller goes past David Saber to go through into 4th place as Potter's up there as well in 3rd. In fact, locks up and lets McCuller down the inside as a result, and they both got off the track a little bit there, but they survived it just about. Saber's getting a bit of argy-bargy in there. Potter's got to the inside of McCuller. Oh, they nearly banged wheels, but they survived it just about. Goodness me, this is an incredible battle. Here we've got 3 of them together behind Pascal McCuller fighting David Saber, Owen Potter and Chris Hood. Thank God they're three names that are easy to pronounce. I'm saying that much. Oh, Potter's had a bit of a moment. I think he got a bit of tyre smoke. I think he may have lost some ground. He has indeed done so. Chris Hood has pulled away from Potter and then has closed up to David Saber as a result of all that. And they're now going to go side by side as they come into the right-hander at Church. We're just trying to see if Hood and Saber can survive it. We're looking at Pascal McHugh at the moment, which is not quite where the action is at the moment. Hood and Saber still going at it down the back straight towards the club chicane. We're going to see in the background if Hood will make a move on the inside of Saber. It looks like he stepped out, but he stepped back in line, and now he stepped out of line again, and he's going to the inside. But I think Saber's managed to defend the inside line enough. He has done so, especially as Hood has had a little bit of an under rotation on the front right tyre, which of course always will negative to the impact of the cornering abilities. They go into the club chicane. So, purple laps for both the top two there, and everyone's getting their personal best laps in now as they've all spread out a little bit more now. We've lost a car in the meanwhile as well. We have lost the number 340. That car has gone. That's out of the race. So we're down to 8, which is unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. So hopefully things will begin to settle down a bit more now as the field spreads out around the Thruxton circuit. They're relatively compact regarding where they are on the track, but obviously the gaps between the cars aren't necessarily small enough for them to make moves, which obviously is not always the best, which can result in a slightly tamer race, which is what we're seeing at the moment. The field has certainly calmed down, which is always a positive, which is a positive for the drivers, if that makes sense, but not so much for people on looking. So Klapinski's leader. Chazarama is second place. He's 1.1 seconds back at the last timing split. Whether that's going to change, I think it probably will. Pascal McHugh is definitely third now in number 3. He's managed to make a lot of headway through the field after starting a bit lower down the grid than would be expected. David Saber's gone around in the background, and he's been hit. Potter's hit him head on, a massive accident to the chicane. Chris Hood just avoided it, and that is unfortunate coming together for both those drivers. Two very fast cars out of the race. Owen Potter, wrong place, wrong time, and just clattered the side of the spinning car absolutely flat out. No time to do anything. And Kaplinski's almost gone again at the chicane, but he survived it. Well done, good sir. So he's still going at it. He's not spun on the exit of the chicane this time, but he is still the leader. Still Chazarama in second place, rather, in number 70. Obviously, was very much a heat winner earlier on. Won the second heat of racing. Klapinski was runner-up in that race, so he did well to get second, but they have obviously swapped round at the front. Saber is a fair way down the grid now. In fact, he's in the pit lane, which is no massive surprise considering the impact he took with Potter. Of course, David Saber was the winner of Heat 1 and therefore started third place on the grid for this final. Chris Hood still running in fourth, with Halil Sahin, running in fifth. Got to remember to bounce the H on that one. But Kaplinski is your leader. Coming around to tick off another lap. We have now got 4 laps in the books. We're on to lap number 5 now, so we're a third of the way through this race when we come round next time. The field is certainly spread out around the circuit now, particularly 4th, 5th and 6th. David Saber has elected to retire, which is no big surprise. I did see a number of wheels and suspension linkages go flying in that collision. So it looks like we're just down to 6 now at this point. Jacka Slabby is still going in 6th, and a rather valiant effort to keep himself going tonight. It's not been the easiest of meetings to come into the formula with a few more cars than normal. I said Slabby now gets his personal best up of 133.993. So he's done fairly well to get a lap there. We've got Pascal McHugh on fire. He's setting very consistent lap times and forever improving. In fact, he's a purple first sector on the lap we're currently on, so he's certainly getting the hammer down as purple second sector for the leader. So can McHugh set the fastest lap of the race, I wonder? He's currently got it with a 126.747. as they come into the club chicane. And all the leaders run the second place car switch a bit wide at the chicane there of Chazarama, as it looks like Mikula also clattered the curb on the exit of the chicane, so he unfortunately lost ground as well in all that. So the order has remained unchanged on that lap anyway. Nobody's really close enough to each other to really mount an attack at this stage. But the second place battle may come alive very shortly. Mikula just about on the back of number 70 of Giovanni Chazarama. And we'll see if he can mount an attack in the very near future. Klipinski has run away at the front. We are a third of the way through this race now. And we're currently 8 minutes and 40 seconds in, so I would expect around a 24-minute race, which is about the right race length you want. So Klipinski is away on. The battle for second place is coming alive and well, as Mikula is slipstreaming the back of the Italian. Is he going to get down the inside at Church? He's trying his hardest, but is his hardest enough is my question. They're going side by side down Brooklyn Straight. No, Mikula dives back in behind. Is he going to try and dive out again at Club? Here he comes. Charging down the inside. He's through. Take that, Sunshine, he says, and goes through into second place with a daring move on the inside. Chazarama goes down to second place in number 70. And passing Mikula says he sights firmly on Kaplinski, who is the current race leader, and has set the fastest lap of the race with a 1:26.549. And Mikula's going. He saved it. Goodness me, that was close to going around. So that was a scary event, and all his hard work to get second place may be about to be undone as Chazarama tries to go around the outside in the number 70 car, but has to slot back in behind, and he's unable to mount attack. And Mikula's had a massive speed wobble and had a tank slapper. He saved it and will now proceed to try and pull away, or maybe not as the case, as 70 going around the outside as they come into the left-hander at Noble, and the very few left-handers on the course. Mikula's on the outside, they nearly lock wheels and nearly go for a tangle. Still 6 of them circulating, meanwhile, and Mikula's managed to defend second place for the time being. Chazarama still there in second place in number 70, looking for a way through. He lost the ground, he's now got to try and make it up again. Fourth place is Chris Hutt. Fourth is Halil Sahin. And sixth place is Jaka Slabe. So down the Brooklyn Straight comes the second place battle, I should say. I need to get my grammar in the right order first. As they come into the chicane, and Satarama has gone through on the inside of Mikula's, and he scoops up, and Mikula has scooped him up and sent him wide again. So the chicane is being a bit of a problem point for a number of these as they bang side pods, if you like, there on the exit of the chicane, as Klipinski's actually another fastest up of the race with a 1:26.225. So he's really rocking it in. Mikula, can he save it this time? I don't think he can. He's gone on the grass. He's still wobbling about, and he saved it. So Mikula's getting very good at catching these tank slappers. I think he's going to catch the end of the Armco barrier there, but he just about stayed out of harm's way, which is rather fortuitous. But he's lost ground to the second place car. But fourth place is nowhere really near to challenge. So I think he's fairly safe in third at the moment, barring any major catastrophe. As the race begins to settle down a bit more now here at Thruxton. The entertainment is a little bit less at the time being, but we'll try and see if anything else will arise, should we say, come the end of the race. But yeah, at the moment, they're just keeping it nice and steady, just getting their way around the track. Nobody going for anything silly at the moment. Mikula has tried to keep in touch with Chatarame, but Chatarame's gone off. And he's kept it on the track, but Mikula's come down the inside and retaken second place. So these two swapping places once again as they made their way out of the corner there. So Mikula across the line now, second place in his Lola T340 in the STP livery, the locally Lola Works team cars they are. As they come in towards the chicane once again at the start of the lap, the Campbell, Cobb and Segrave complex, known as the complex, rather imaginatively these days. So he's up to second place. The field are just about covering the entire track at this stage. There's one car in every sector at the moment, which is to be expected with such a wide variety of lap time has been set here this afternoon. We've got Halil Sahin coming to the start-finish line now with a 1:33.750. Purple sector for Klipinski in sector 2 in the meanwhile. Mikula's on the charge as well. Well, he's improved, but he's not gone purple. Centorama has just about stayed level with his pace so far this race. As they come into the chicane. Oh, that was a bit of a moment there. As they come into the club chicane. You can just see off to the left there, the screen, they came into the chicane there, the commentary box, which is one of the old control towers from when this place was an RAF base. Of course, as I was saying, like many of the motor racing facilities in the UK, they are all RAF bases as Mikula goes sideways and Chetorama comes clattering down the side of there in a rather forceful Formula Ford anyway. Overtake, but he's through for second place again. These two are having a great scrap for second, albeit not the lead. It's still very entertaining nonetheless. As they come through, oh, Mikula's car is really unsettled for some reason. I'm not quite sure what's happened with it, but it's not looking as settled as it was. He did, of course, lose it at the club chicane in Heat 1, of course. He's now coming down the inside line, but Chetorama's on the outside and gone a bit sideways, but I think he's just about saved it. He has indeed, but he has lost the position, unfortunately, to Pascal Mikula. So Mikula now goes through into what is now second place, which is what has been the case all race between cars 3 and cars 70. Chris Hood is fourth, a long way back from the second place battle, bearing in mind. Oh, hello, the side-by-side coming into the chicane. And this time, Mikula's turn to get pressured off. No, he saved it onto the track this time anyway. But Chetorama, is still there in second place, in third place even. And right on the tail of the second place car, Pascal Mikula. As they make their way round. And we're just having a look here to see what else is happening. As it looks like we certainly had a bit of displeasure shown in the general chat from Owen Potter. But looking at it, I'm not sure there's a huge amount that David Saber could really do, as the car was spinning and there wasn't much that could have been done to save it. It was a lost cause from the moment he hit the curb, unfortunately, for David. But Klipinski's still your leader. We've got 10 laps in the books, so 2/3 of the way through this race. Things are certainly getting through at this stage. In what has been a lively exchange between these two anyway, plus a couple of other lively exchanges elsewhere, but it has got, unfortunately, rather spread out this race, but it was always going to when we lost the three of them at the start. But Chetorama and Pascal Mikula still scrapping, and Chetorama coming down the inside into the chicane club, but he's had to back out as Mikula had the inside line held off from the word go, really, there. The leader's coming to lap traffic in the meanwhile as well, as Jack Slabby is about to be lapped, so the blue flag's been shown to him around the circuit. Mikula keeps it just about straight this time through the first sector. You've been having major issues with the first corner and Allard all evening, and that was probably the most planted to have seen it all day as he goes sideways coming out of Cobb, but he saved it, and thankfully didn't turn into a corner on the Cobb. Leader has managed to lap in the meanwhile Jack Slabby as Chris Hood gets his best lap of the race so far, 1:28.382. The second place battle has died down, but whether it'll stay died down is a very different question, as we can almost guarantee that one of them will slip up at some point in the near future. It's been happening all race long. One's benefited from another one's undoing, unfortunately. But yeah, things have remained fairly tame in this one so far from the Formula Fords after the early moments in the opening lap. And of course, the moment with David Sabre and Owen Potter having a tangle at this chicane that we enter now, the club chicane. So certainly things settling down. Of course, like I say, this weekend, if you are in the UK, of course, it is the British Grand Prix this weekend at Silverstone, which is, of course, a very much an annual event. Here in the UK, it's been running continually for 52 years now, in fact, since 1950, that race, back when Silverstone was still very much an airfield. It's not so much anymore. Of course, there is other action, of course, going on this weekend around the various UK circuits, like, say, the 7th Motor Club are at Brands Hatch with their various championships. I'm just going to check if there's any Formula Ford on anywhere this weekend, because I think they've got a week off, sadly. So I don't think there's any Formula Ford racing this weekend in the UK. But Klipinski has got a purple first sector this lap as well in the meantime, whilst I've just been checking a few things here, there and everywhere. Second place is still Pascal Mikula. Of course, taken a couple of wins this season. Like I say, I'm not quite up to speed with the series a huge amount at the moment due to missing a few meetings due to various reasons as they've already got into. The leader is not within striking distance of the second place battle, but they're coming to lap Jaka Slabby, who is a lap down on the charts in 6th. In the meantime, I can tell you Halil Sahin has gone a lap down on the charts as well. There's Slabby getting out of the way. Thank you, Slabby. That's some good driving conduct there to let the leaders go through. I think he might be missing a front wing there, to be honest. Is he? So not the wing, but the nose cone. Yeah, he is. He's missing a nose cone, unfortunately, on that car. So unfortunately, that car has seen a bit of the wars, I think. Mikula's still second place and running well now once he's managed to break free of Satarama. But yeah, certainly a much quieter conclusion to this one. The last lap board is at the ready, I should point out as well, for Klipinski, who has checked out really, hasn't been seen since, but we are in for a new race winner in today's final. Oh, side by side for second. Satarame has got alongside Pascal Mikula as they come side by side down towards the club chicane into the braking zone. I think Mikula's got to just basically just say to him, look, you can have the line here, or maybe not. Mikula's managed to get around the outside with a bit of a late braking manoeuvre and has held second place. And Satarame has managed to get out the corner and close up again. Mikula has a bit of time spent there as he left the corner, so a bit of a wheel spin moment. Side by side across the line. Now, what's the timing speed on that, folks? Oh, that was a dead heat on the timing line that time around. Rather impressive. They are 13.7 seconds away from the leader. Make that 14 seconds now. Satarame has got through back to second place now in number 70 in the green Hawk DL11. And he's gone, he's spun it. We lose the Hawk, round it goes. And Satarame's dropped down to third. I think Chris Hood is too far back to capitalise. He is indeed, so Chris Hood's still coming out the final corner. But that's secure passing Mikula second place, I think. Klipinski is up into the lead and has been there since the start. So he's homing in on his first final win of the year. And I believe his first win of the year in Formula Ford as well. Fancy slowing up? Oh, the leader's slowing up. Klipinski's gone because the commentator who slowed up. So can Pascal Mikula catch him, I wonder? Mikula's coming into church as the leader is going down Brooklyn Straight. He's coasting to the chicane. Here's Mikula. Where's our leader? I don't think our leader's got enough in the can to do it. No, he hasn't. And Pascal Mikula's going to take the lead on the final bend of the race. Satarami's in second place and not far off Mikula. Oh, dear me. So that is a devastating end to the night for Koplinski as Classic Mikula comes round the final bend and has also run out of fuel, I think. As Saturame comes on the final bend of the race and takes the lead and takes the checkered flag. Goodness me. What manner of thing happened there? Pascal Mikula's gone down for second place. Koplinski's not even going to finish. So Chris Hood will be third place now, I think, in number 4. Well, what a turn up for the Bucks. Koplinski led all the way, virtually, and has run out of fuel on the final lap. So here comes Chris Hood into the club chicane for the final time. Don't tell me he's slowing down as well. No, he's okay. So the Apple Computers car make its way across the timing line and finish and get third place. So Chris Hood is third. We've still got 2 cars left to finish because as the leader ran out of fuel, they were able to unlap themselves. So here's Sahin. He'll graduate himself to 4th place if he can finish. And Jacka Slabby, in his first meeting with us, he's going to get home for 5th place, providing he can survive the last lap. Sahin has locked up and gone off. He missed the bails, thankfully, so he is able to finish despite taking a few liberties with the track there. The Sahin comes across the line in 5th. In 4th place, even, I should say. And 5th place is in the lightweight Superleggera model, 75, by Jacka Slabby. He crosses the line and gets 5th place. Well, goodness gracious me, that was one hell of an end to the night, wasn't it? So 2 lead changes within 1 chicane. So, after all that, Giovanni Saturame is the race winner. Pascal Mikula coasters across the line for 2nd place. Chris Hood was 3rd. Halil Sahin was 4th. And Jacka Slabby was 5th. Well, goodness gracious me, what a finish to the night for the Formula Fords. And, well done, I guess, to all the drivers at the finish. That high rate of attrition race, we managed to lose 4 out of the 9 starters. And, well, that was a very, very interesting race in the closing laps. After a bit of a dull in the middle stages, it certainly got going at the end. But I think, as far as we know tonight, that's as far as we take you this evening here at the Classic Motorsport Hub. I'm just going to double check if there's anything else I need to just work out before I sign off tonight. Because as far as I can work out, that's as far as we're going to take you this evening here at Thruxton. Don't forget, the Formula Fords are back next Thursday night on the 7th of July. Same place, same time at Croft. With the next round, which is round number 8 of the series. And then after that, of course, we've got a couple more events as well as the month of July kicks into top gear here at Classic Motorsport. I've just been informed that the reason Pascal Mikula lost ground on the final lap is because there was some contact between the 2 of them, hence why the position was surrendered. That'll explain that. So he didn't run out of fuel. So the last lap wasn't quite as extraordinary as I made it out to be. But also, of course, 17th of July, SCCA Trans Am, Watkins again 350 at the Glen. It wouldn't be anywhere else, would it? That is the next Trans Am meeting here on July 17th. And there's one more Formula Ford outing at Croft for round 9 on July 28th. But like I said, on behalf of all of us here at the Classic Motorsport Hub, thank you very much for your attendance this evening. Thank you to all the drivers making efforts to race this evening. An excellent entry of 9 of them with us. And until next time, we shall see you very soon, hopefully next week, at Croft for round number 9. On behalf of all of us here at the Classic Motorsport Hub, it's goodbye and good night. See you soon.